All right, y'all. Welcome back. So, per a lot of suggestions, I shouldn't say a lot, a few suggestions to rotate this horizontally. So, basically, here, let me take this off. Basically, to have it set like this. I'm going to do that. And what I'm going to do is I printed out this, um, I guess you'd call it magnetic bearing. So that is a strong, I think it's an N48 magnet in there, and I'm going to put it on the end there. And then I have another one with the like pole facing it to, oops, to do a push. It's pretty strong right there. Oops, magnet came off. Anyway, it's pretty strong. So I'm going to build, I'm either going to use this rig and just put it horizontally and put some stands right here and use this, as you can see there, use this to act as a bearing. So the only friction will be this this rotor rod. The only friction will be it resting up against the side of the ceramic bearings. All of the weight will be pushed onto uh, this magnet. And so I think that's going to give it a really nice and smooth, almost frictionless um, rotation. I mean, it's really good now. I mean, if I spin it like that, it'll go like that for a few minutes. And since I put so much into this stand, I did buy a couple of more acrylic sheets, 3/8 thick. What I was going to do is just build a horizontal platform with more of these 3D printed 22 milligram bearing holders, one on each side, just like I did with this guy here. And then run 4 bolts, very long bolts, with some kind of a, I don't know, ceramic or, acrylic guide post on each one so I can tighten it down to keep it nice and rigid. But then I'm thinking, I've already built this. I can probably do it with this. I just have to figure out the mechanics of it. But I think this magnetic bearing will be really good because it takes a lot to push this, oops, to push this guy, to push that guy in order for it to actually touch this, which is kind of impossible because they're really strong neodymium magnets. But yeah, I think that'll make it for a really nice, almost frictionless rotor. So yeah, let me get working on that. Stay tuned. Okay, so just to give you guys kind of a better idea of what I'm talking about, my rotor's a little dirty here. I don't know why. Here's the acrylic sheet. It's 3/8 thick. What I was going to do was mount one of these, mount 2 of these bearing holders, one on one side and one on the bottom side, and then this guy would go in the middle, and then another one would go on top. Right, another sheet would go on top, and then in each corner, I would have some sort of a separator support, and then this whole thing would lift up and be supported probably by the same rods. I would get really long ones, and then attach that to another sheet. But then I started thinking, I probably don't need the whole sheet. I can probably do it with half a sheet like this. Cut it in half, put the 4 there. I think that'll be sturdy enough. And again, it's going to have, I'm going to go run over to Ace because I dread going over to Home Depot. I have an Ace Hardware right around the corner. Oh, yeah. And I have this new filament, which was supposed to be red, but when it arrived, it turned out to be pink. But it's a really good filament. It's made by a really good company. I forgot the name of it, but I never tried them before. And anyway, so a lot of my prints are now going to be this stuff because I have a lot of it. Anyway, I think I can cut this right in half. And this way I can get a top and bottom out of one sheet and then use my second sheet as the base. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think it'll be sturdy enough. This is 3/8 thick, so it's pretty thick stuff. I opted to get the 3/8. I don't know why I didn't get the 1/2 inch. I think it was a little too expensive. And then I have, in case I needed it, I have this support piece here, but I don't think I need it. Anyway, I was getting off track there. Yeah. So I think I'm going to do that. So I just need to cut this in half, then put it together, drill the hole in the center. And yeah, I think I'm going to do it like that. All right. Yeah, a little quick side note. If you're buying acrylic sheets, they're supposed to be 12 inches by 12 inches. As you can see, these guys are not, they're not right on. I thought acrylic sheets were supposed to be pretty close, or at least right on, but they're not. They're at least 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch smaller than what they claim to be, which is not that big of a deal, but it kind of irks me because I was going to go by this line to cut, but obviously if you look over here, you can see that the stamp on here wasn't right on. So that's all right. But just if anybody was buying acrylic sheets, at least from this company, they're not right on. I was also thinking about doing it diagonally, cutting it diagonally like this, and so we'd have, and then putting it like that. No, I'm not going to do it like that. Anyway, that was just a quick little rant. All right. Stay tuned. So this is kind of what the layout would be. Of course, it would be horizontal like this. And I thought I couldn't find any non-magnetic screw thread. I couldn't find any. There was stainless steel, but even that was magnetic. I should have gotten it though, because I was hoping that if I covered it with aluminum, because I've seen this work before, it would dampen, maybe even cancel out the magnetic attraction to this steel rod. But I just ran a test, and you can clearly feel it pulsating as it goes by this. I was going to try to fill this part with resin and hoping but that's not going to do anything. It's still too close to the rotor. So I did a lot of work for nothing. I need to figure out, what I need to do is find some large, either aluminum or some brass all thread. I think I'm going to have to go online. Dang, that sucks. I wanted to get this thing done. I wanted to get it a little bit further than this. But so this will still work. And actually, I think I'm going to cut it down. This is 6 inches. I think I'm going to cut it down to 4 inches because this is 2.5 inches. So if I cut it down to 4 inches, yeah. So not all lost. I'm still going to use the tubing for more of a support than anything else to keep this system rigid. But I need to get some brass or some aluminum all thread. And Ace Hardware didn't have any. So I guess it's online. What I could do though is get some aluminum rod that's not all thread, which they do have, and thread the ends of it myself just to receive the nut. I could do that, but let me see what's online. All right, man. I think that's all going to be for today. All right, so I think I figured it out. I looked online kind of quickly, didn't see a lot of 3/8 all thread in aluminum or brass, but I do have resin. So what I did was I filled up these tubes with resin. I was going to cut off a small piece of this and stick it in there while the resin was still wet, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to fill these up with resin and then either cut off a small piece of this, drill a hole, thread it, put this in there and, glue it in there or something. But I'll figure something out. I figured even if I did that, which I'm probably not going to do, it's not going to interfere with the magnetic field, at least not anything appreciable. So I think I'll be okay because, yeah. And what I'll probably end up doing, instead of cutting off some of this, they do have 3/8 brass bolts. And I can simply just, like I said, get one of those, cut it off, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean. So anyway, yeah, saved by the resin. Ciao.